Hello everyone, welcome back to FC Smorgon with me, Looney Loser 17. I'm gonna actually start off with a bit of an announcement before I get into what's happened in the last 2 months. This will be the final planned season where I create content with this save, unless I get some pretty overwhelming feedback in the comments on this video saying that people want to continue seeing me update this save in videos. There haven't been a whole lot of views on these videos, and as well, one of the Christmas presents I received this year was FM22. So my Twitch content, my link to my Twitch channel will be in the description below the video. So my Twitch content will become FM22 content, and I will be updating that, updating those streams periodically on this channel so people can stay informed if they miss streams. I will be continuing to play this save offline, especially because I'm still enjoying this save. So, but I think people are more interested in content with the newest version. And I have plans for what I'm going to do for content, at least to start off with, on FM22s. I will not say what those are quite yet, but I do know what direction I'm going to head as far as that content creation. Okay, so that being said, what has happened? It's now beginning of October. We're actually in a little bit of a break from league action. Last match was the 23rd. Next match is in a week. Similar thing happens in November. It's basically the same story every year. Once you get past like start of July, when European play starts, when the Belarusian Cup kicks off. In ways, this has been a rather disappointing and tense couple of months, which might surprise you if you note that we are second in the league yet, and only 1 point behind Shakhtar Sologorsk for the league lead, with 5 matches left, and a much better goal difference. So why has it been disappointing and tense? Other competitions. So the last match I would have told you about was the 4-1 win over Rook Brest at the end of July, when they were third in the league. So what's happened since then? Third qualifying round of Europa Conference. This came at a point where our already thin squad was being ravaged by the injury bug. 1-1 draw at home. Nadolski gave us the lead, 23rd minute. They got an equalizer, 63rd minute. We did not play very well, admittedly. So, in a way, we were rather fortunate to actually get out of there with a 1-1 draw. In between the 2 legs of that tie, Diaspor, for those who aren't familiar, is a Hungarian side. So, an easier opponent than Red Star, somebody I figured we could handle. Of course, was wary and respectful of them, but somebody I expected we could beat. So that 1-1 home draw was disappointing, especially as badly as we got outplayed, especially considering that we had just beaten Red Star, looking a whole lot better. And then we seemed to get on track in between When, when a side consisting of a number of backups smashed Energetic, who are mid-table side, 4-0 on the road. Simone in the 12th minute gave us the 1-0 lead we had at halftime. Punagov off a set piece in the 51st minute doubled the lead. They had an own goal just past the hour mark that made it 3. Trying to remember, I think there was a post involved, and the ball was like right on the goal line, and their defender trying to clear it instead put it into the net. And then Remish in the 81st minute capped the scoring. Convincing performance from us. Gave me a little bit of reason to hope that maybe the first leg of the third qualifying round for Conference League was a fluke. Unfortunately, we did not turn up in the second leg either. Matter of fact, our performance was even worse. They get a 4th minute goal that stands up as the only goal of the match, as they send us out of Europe 1-0. Diascore was promptly smashed, or was promptly beaten by a Croatian side in the following round. Our run of bad play continued with a 0-0 draw at home against Volnopinsk, a team down in the relegation zone, or relegation battle, and they had even had a guy sent off at the hour mark. And we had dominated even before that. We outshoot them 21-4, on target 9-1, XG 1.89 to 0.26. We did not score. Safe to say I was not very happy. They had 7 yellow cards. The sending off was for a second yellow. Plus they had a guy get hurt. Needless to say, the team got an earful after that. And things did not get much better. Playing a second-tier side in the Belarusian Cup, Osipovici, I probably butchered that. My apologies to any Belarusians or at least Eastern Europeans who would know the proper pronunciation of that. This should have been an easy match. Rotated the full 11, knowing that, presuming I advanced, the third round tie was going to be just a couple of days later. We ended up going 120 minutes. Eventually, we did get the win 4-2. They actually took the lead just past the half-hour mark. Remish scored the equalizer in first half stoppage time. Mayakish gave us the lead at the hour mark off a set piece. Looked like we kept pushing for a third to try to lock it down. The third didn't come. Eventually, I backed off a bit just to try to see it out once we'd gotten into like second half stoppage time. 96th minute, they find an equalizer. And I'm going, oh no. Because we really, as thin as we were and as beat up as we were, we really did not need that extra half hour. And then Remish from the spot in the 111th minute gives us the lead back. Then a minute later, we had a goal disallowed. And then Melnick, the fourth choice striker, in the 122nd minute, capped the scoring. 4-2 win with a fully rotated 11, including, or almost fully rotated at least. I see like Mironov out there, and I actually only had like 3 healthy strikers at the time. So Reemish was out there. And then I even let Sherbaknia play in this round. He would not play, however, 4 days later when we played Torpedo Zodino, so a decent side in the top flight in the third round of the Belarusian Cup. Little nervous, even though we had just gone 120 with a side that was mostly backups, because we were still rather tired. This is the third match in 7 days, and it wasn't like we'd had many days off before that. Our boys decided they had so much fun playing 120, they'd do it twice in 4 days. Galushko gave us the lead in the 8th minute. They got an equalizer at the hour mark. The end of the 90 minutes, still 1-1, so we're going an extra 30. Torpedo actually take the lead in the 93rd minute before Simone struck twice quickly in the 97th and 100th minutes to turn around the result. We're into the Belarusian Cup quarterfinals after a 3-2 win in a match that we definitely were the better side. And pretty quickly after we took that lead, I went into full lockdown mode and just tried to see it out. As tired as we were, the good thing for us is we were starting to get close to healthy. And then we had 3 weeks off from league action. I did play one friendly to try to make sure conditioning stayed up, give some minutes to some guys who were just coming back from injury. We beat up on a local side. That's not really worth talking about. And then back into the league with bottom of the table Sputnik Rakista coming to visit. Solid, maybe unspectacular performance, but a convincing 3-0 win at home. Nadolski in the 22nd minute, Simone in the 26th, and Kozel in the 38th gave us a 3-0 lead before halftime. And then we just saw it out from there. Nice solid win. And then we went away to mid-table Slutsk, newly promoted back into the league this season. They've been a bit up and down in this save. We did not play well. It ended 0-0. The only person who was above 7 was Mamadov, the keeper. For some reason, we've been getting outpossessed a lot recently, and I haven't figured out why. But like Slutsk had 58% of the ball at home. That should have been close to 50-50 the way we'd played earlier in the season. Out XG'd them, more shots on target. We just didn't convert, basically. Which was a little concerning because that was also the first of 3 matches in 8 days. So that was mostly starters that was in for that match. In between, we went away to Gomel for the middle match of the 3 and 8 days. So Gomel came to visit, and I was starting to have nightmares at the Vitebsk match from the beginning of July. when Gasmy gets sent off in first half stoppage time, straight red in what really looked like an unjustified call because both players were being rather physical. So a straight red there was rather harsh. Appeal on the ban was turned down, so he had to sit out a match. However, Melnick to the rescue, 70th minute, gives us a 1-0 win over a Gommel side who's around the relegation playoff spots. They might have played their way out by now. Sorry, I'm not really tired. I don't know why I'm yawning. But Shakhtar Sologorsk had stumbled while we were playing Gommel. Matter of fact, they've had a couple of stumbles recently, which had us within 4 points going to Shakhtar Sologorsk. And as you saw earlier from the fact that we're within 1 point, obviously we win this match. Rather convincingly 5-2, so not our greatest defensive outing. But after a run of 5 straight league matches where we hadn't conceded, to give up 2 to the team at top of the table, not a huge surprise. This turned into the Simone and Kozul show. Simone with a perfect hat trick and an assist. Kozul 2 goals, 2 assists in his return from injury, or to at least, well, actually no, not quite his return. He'd been back a little bit, but and his best performance for sure since he'd come back. I will show the highlights from that one in a moment. The first match I'll show the goals from on this video is the Torpedo Zodino Belarusian Cup third round match. So 8th minute, Gasmy out on the wing, through to Simone, slots it across to Galushko, who somehow beat the defender to that ball, even though the defender was in between them. Well worked play from them. Not sure what Mamedov was doing there. So there. And then, yep, basically right off a goal kick. A little flick on. Defensively, we got lazy. Galushko returns the favor from earlier, finding Simone. Keeper came out to cut the angle, but Simone set it past him into the bottom corner, level at it 2-2. And then Galushko picks up the sloppy first touch to Simone, basically carbon copy. Keeper came out to try to cut the angle. Simone found the bottom corner. And, okay. So now more details about the Shakhtar match. We definitely looked the more dangerous side, albeit they still had a 1.78 xG. So couple of quality sides going at it. They outpossessed us almost 2-1. So we just took our chances better. Simone in the 12th gave us the lead. Kovic right before halftime leveled it. That was a pretty fair result at halftime because they had definitely looked like the better side. But we had looked a bit more dangerous going forward, so for it to be level was understandable. And then Kozul in the 47th gave us the lead. Simone with his second in the 52nd made it 3-1. They pulled one back to within 3-2 in the 69th minute. Just a few minutes later, Simoni caps his hat trick in the 74th minute, makes it 4-2. They had a goal disallowed for offsides in the 84th that would have made things tense. And then Kozul capped it in the 89th. When your strikers have 9.8 and 9.6 ratings, you know they had a good day. So yeah, Mironov back to Makarenko, head to Timofeev, slots that across. Smorgon about 9 yards out with the head, off the corner, pretty much kind of similar goal cross, about 9 yards out. Mironov finds Kozul here just at halftime. Kozul squeezes it between the keeper and the near post, made it 2-1. Kozul finds Simoni here. Left-footed, 3-1. We get a number of goals that way, one striker finding the other. Quick ball by them. Defender got caught sleeping on that well-timed run. 3-2. Excellent. Mironov, Simoni, Kozul. Kozul slipped it through to Simoni, but there's the right foot goal to complete the hat trick. And then Simoni returns the favor, slots the cross to Kozul just about at the spot. Kozul buries it. Convincing 5-2 win. Brings us within 1 point with 5 matches left. It's sort of a mixed bag for us on our way in. We host Minsk, who are 7th currently. We go away to 14th place Dynamo Brest. And then we go away to 5th place Bate. Here and three successive weeks. Then we get a couple weeks off. And then we go away to Vitebsk, who are currently 4th, before hosting 10th place Slavia Mozir on the final day. So outside of that Bate-Vitebsk combo both away, not necessarily the toughest run-in. And now I actually haven't even looked yet to see what Shakhtar Sologorsk run-in looks like. Actually fairly similar. Because they go away to Slavia Mozir before hosting Vitebsk, and then they go away to Torpedo Zodino, which could be a little bit tricky. And then after the couple weeks off, they go away to Arsenal Zerzinsk, who are currently 11th, before hosting 3rd place Dynamo Minsk on the final day. That could be high drama, especially if both Shakhtar and I drop points to bring some of those chasing sides into the race. No real signings to tell you about. No real significant new injuries with the squad. Worth noting with the Belarusian Cup, quarterfinals will be Bate, Niemen, Grodno. Niemen Grodno is currently leading the second tier, so good chance they'll be back in the top flight by the time of the quarterfinal. Shakhtar Sologorsk hosts Dnipro Mogilev, another second tier side. We get to host Izlak, yet another second tier side, and Vitebsk hosts Vitebsk plays Slavia Mozir. Keep in mind these are all 2 legs. For the record, Islak is second in the second tier, and though Islak and Neiman Grodno aren't necessarily safe to be guaranteed up, because those top three are only covered by 3 points, and then Dnipro and Mogilev are mid-table. Team you may notice are missing are the holders Dynamo Minsk. They went out in the second round. So it was nearly a case of both reigning finalists going out in the second round until we pulled it out in extra time. Something I should do more often is to show, okay, like who's played well. Top 3 guys in average rating for the club this season have been strikers. Simoni 7.32, Kozl 7.26, Melnik 7.22, and then the keepers Mamedov and Shabaknia just under 7.1s. Placencia averaging a 7.04, and Kalinen's seen an additional match, averaging a 7. Nobody's really doing too terribly. Kaborda is our lowest rated player who's actually seen action at an unholy 6.66. Most of that action has been off the bench. As far as goals scored, it's Simoni leading the way, but barely, 17-16 over Kozl. So the Shakhtar Sologorsk match was no fluke. My 2 strikers both can smash it in. Melnik is currently third on the club with nine goals, and Remish is fourth with 6. Melnik and Remish actually have about as many matches, which is a little surprising considering Melnik's supposed to be 4th choice, but it feels like he's been playing better than Remish, and the ratings actually sort of back that up. So, and with Remish being 30, it's like, you know what, we'll take advantage of this and give Melnik some time. The only other player with more than 3 goals is Nadolski with 5, who's been primarily playing left wing. There is a Russian club interested in him. I have no plans on selling him, however, unless they put really big money in front of me to the point where I'd be foolish to turn it down. Simoni, to go with his 17 goals, also shares the club lead in assists with 10, along with Mironov, who's had 14 each of the last 2 seasons. Timofeev on 8 assists, Maximovich and Kozl both on 7. Everybody else who has assists has 4 or less. So this is just one of those force I have it for my benefit. Set it back to where I've got it. I do have a few guys in on trial right now. Most of those are foreigners. Donic is still around. I've had him on trial for a while. I'm trying to wait him out, get him to sign a more team-friendly deal. And then otherwise I sort of got to pick one of those other 3 with the European restrictions, or the foreign player rules in Belarus. Finances still says okay. Projections are aren't great. I do not know where that number comes from. That I almost wonder if that's like a glitch number, because it doesn't make sense unless for some reason the board's planning on like paying off that loan next season, which is a couple years early. But I think I pretty well covered everything for this video. Youth intake has not come in quite yet. There's not much to be excited about based on the preview that I'd got a while back. So thank you so much for checking out the video. I hope you all have a great day. I will go ahead and post an update at the end of the season so you can find out what actually happened. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.